Hello everyone. So today we're going to go over a slightly different method that you might find a little bit helpful or more organized than the other ones on how to multiply these polynomials together. So it kind of goes like this. So all polynomials have like some form. And just by looking at this, I know that the maximum exponent I'm going to get is 5, because 3 y to the second times y to the third is y to the fifth power. So how we can organize this is, let's say I didn't know it as y to the fifth, so I just say, alright, maybe I'm going to write some y to the sixth power here with some number in front of it. And then over here, I'm going to have by to the fifth, cy to the fourth, dy to the third, ey to the second, and fy, and then g. So you might be saying, well, why did I just do that? Well, this is gonna, we'll see in a second, it's actually gonna help me organize things out a little bit. So what this is saying, this is how I'm gonna group my terms in each parenthesis. So for example, my constant g is going to, like, if I take my first parenthesis, let's say, my constant, which is represented by this g, would be put there, the 3, the value without a y term, specifically a positive 3. Then I have a regular y term, this 2y. So I'm going to put my negative 2y under the f of y column, since that's where my my linear y terms would go. Then I have y squared. So, or 3y squared. That would go under my y squared column. 3y squared. Now I'm going to write out the second parenthesis. So I have negative 7, this one here. Negative 7 is my constant term, so I put a negative 7 down here. Then I have a negative 2y in the, no, not negative 2y, positive y in that column. Positive y. Then in the y squared column, I have negative 2y squared. And then finally, I have something in the y to the third column, just y to the third. Now, what I'm going to do is use multiplication. So, since we are multiplying these two polynomials, so we're going to multiply here. Now, I'm going to do it just like regular multiplication works. So, negative 7 times 3. Well, that gets me a negative 21 in my constant column, just the g. Then I have negative 7 times negative 2y. So that becomes positive 14y, which would go in the regular y column, 14y. From there, negative 7 times 3y squared is negative 21y squared. And that's it for multiplying by negative 7. Now I'm going to multiply by y. So y times 3 is 3y. Now I'm going to skip the g column, go right to the y column. So 3y. Because this is where my y, my linear term, my y to the first powers go. Then I have y times negative 2y, which becomes negative 2y squared. Then I have y times 3y squared, which is 3y to the third power. Now, multiply out the next one. So, negative 2y squared times 3, well, that becomes a negative 6y squared. So I'm going to go straight to the y squared column and do negative 6y squared. Negative 2y squared times negative 2y is positive 4y to the third. Should put pluses. Plus, okay. Now, negative 2y squared times 3y squared is negative 6. Negative 6 y to the fourth power, which now goes under the column for the fourth power. Then, finally, multiply y to the third. So, y to the third times 3 is just 3y to the third. So I'm immediately going to go to my y to the third column. So positive 3y to the third. Y to the third times negative 2y is negative 2y to the fourth. And then y to the third times 3y squared would go in my y to the fifth column, which is 3y to the fifth. Now, once all that is done, we can go on to the next step. So my next step is going to be we could think of it as combining like terms, or I'm going to add all my values together. So my only constant is negative 21. That's just going to drop right down there, negative 21. Then I have 14y plus 3y, which becomes a 17y. Then I have negative 21 minus 2 minus 6y squared, becoming a negative 29y squared. And I should remember to keep the plus because it's positive 17. Then my y to the third columns. So that's 3 and 3 is 6. 4 is 9. So that's a 9y to the third. Plus, for positive, the y to the fourth is negative 6 minus 2, which is negative 8y to the fourth. And then finally, my only term, 3y to the fifth power, is left over. And this gets me my simplified polynomial done in a slightly, perhaps more organized manner.